So, mini adventure. We're about 65k in, and in the natural habitat of the long distance cyclist, the petrol station. We're just coming into the middle of Hitchin. Bike's all set up, going well. Got a small delivery to make here to a young girl who is missing her small cuddly toy. Anyway, it's all going fine. The weather's not great. It's a bit overcast, but not cold. So I just pulled off a pretty main road back there. Did about 8k along it, and it's always a problem. It's always a challenge when planning these long rides. You can stay on the back roads, you can stay on the lanes, but you start really early in the morning and you're wanting a cafe, you wanted some food, and there's just sort of nothing, and you end up riding kilometre after kilometre and desperate for a coffee or food, versus, you know, throwing in a trip through a town so you can get yourself a coffee, but then you end up on these main roads, which is just a bit of a nightmare, especially at this sort of time, you know, soon after rush hour. Anyway, always a challenge. Sit rep, 90 or so k in. No, that's a lie. 83k, 3 hours 25 minutes. We just got to the top, a bit of a view. They are huge. I don't know what they are, obviously ex-military, probably have a look, might be some labelling, but whatever was stored in there was big. If they're in London, they'd be flats by now. Cycling infrastructure, it's pretty well kept. Architecture. I'm sure there was a point in time right on the leading edge. Sit there. The sun has come out, and a smorgasbord of delights. Not surprisingly okay. Not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. Usual Coke. Where are we? We are at 132k. 5.5 hours. So 7 or so to go. It's a glorious day now. Lovely and warm, not too warm. That westerly's picking up a bit, so turn into that occasionally and it gets a bit hard, but there we go. Anyway, this place is called Great Gidding. I've never been here before. Quiet. Anyway, good shop, very kind lady. I'll level with you, I'm done. Only about 5k, drop into town, 5k, and then empty a fridge into my face. Good morning, it's pretty late morning, day 2 of the mini adventure. Yeah, 145k on the agenda. So I'm leaving South Lincolnshire on the Leicestershire border, riding over into the Vale of Belvoir, some lovely pretty villages of which you've just probably seen some snippets. But a climbing today 1800 meters, more than yesterday's 1500, and the climb of Winnet's Pass, which, with all of this luggage on board, let's just say the levels of concern are high. Anyway, it'll be what it'll be. If I'm not too big to get off and walk. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. In the meantime, it's lovely and quiet. A bit different to yesterday's ride through London to kick off the day's riding. So I just thought I'd show you this. These are roads actually I've ridden hundreds of times as I grew up around here. So no Garmin route finding for the first couple of hours today, as I'm on really old home roads. But this peeping between the trees is Belvoir Castle. It's a glorious, I think I get a slightly better shot further up the hill. Duke and Duchess of Rutland still live there, and they have open days. But like one day I'll bring my daughter here. They used to do jousting and falconry and things like that. I don't know if they still do. We shall see. My daughter would love that. But it's a glorious castle on the hill, and only 12 or so k from home. So always a bit of a beacon on a long ride out into Nottingham and Derbyshire. See the Belvoir Castle on the hillside from miles away. You always knew you were getting close to home. Oh, there's Belvoir Castle. Trees thinning slightly. I remember when these trees were tiny 25-30 years ago. There it is, looking lovely up on the hill. Real commanding position. Lovely. Anyway, we shall drop down now into the Vale and work our way across towards Nottingham, and then thread the needle between Nottingham and Mansfield, and out that way towards Chesterfield. Red Mile, and probably a bit windy here to here. So Lincolnshire, Leicestershire and Nottinghamshire cyclists of a certain vintage will know about Margaret's Calf at Red Mile. So back in the 90s, when we used to train and race around here, there's a cafe down here, it's no longer there, called Margaret's Cafe, and all of the cyclists from all over the region, Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, Nottinghamshire, all used to descend in there, and you could get 50, 60 cyclists on a Sunday or weekend there at any one time. And this is when cycling wasn't what it is now. Pretty remarkable, a real mecca for local riders, club runs. Here we are, we approached. The number of times I've been on a club run, hell for leather, down this piece of road, racing to the Calf. It looks very, very different now. Not a building going on, a lot more sheds. Anyway, as was Margaret's craft shop and cafe, as was. Wow, my days. That is night and day from what it used to be. Well, here we are. Up on top of it all. 100k in. I haven't really recorded, I've done much the last 50, 60k. It's been really busy, like towns, busy roads, traffic lights, roundabouts. It hasn't been that pretty, you know, haven't been really wanting to stop, and so I thought I'd get up here, find a spot, have a great 100k, so 45 or so to go, 45, 50. Garmin just bombed out going up that hill. I think I was going so slow it couldn't track me on GPS, which bodes well for Winnett's Pass, because that was about 15%, and Winnett's Pass is harder than that. So levels of fear for Winnett's is riding pretty high, and it's not actually a million miles away from here. So anyway, we shall crack on. We're just about to go over the top here. I think there'll probably be a wicked descent hopefully from here, and then drop down towards Castleton and Winnett's Pass. Get a load of that. Absolutely stunning, top of the world. And I'm just going to descend down there. Up and out. Castleton's but looking lovely, even overcast. Stunning. Oh my god. It's as bad as I remember. Shit, that was hard. Anyway, we got up it. Awful. Anyway, there was one racing whippet passed me at the cattle grid at the bottom, wished me good luck, and never saw him again. And there was about 3 other cyclists that bailed part way, giving me kudos for keeping going, but shit, the bail. I think, as I've said before, it's less of a climb and more of a series of track stands. Anyway, that's that. Descent and a few rollers to my destination, and that is the mini adventure done. Looking a bit grey over there. Paragliders and hang gliders. Somebody's just landed over there. Anyway, that ride's about done. It's going to be about 350k for the 2 days. It's been great, but today's been hard, rolling hard, just up and down all day. Real big day. Well, there we are. Garmin dropped a few when it crashed out. There were about 140k and a bit. 350 for the 2 days. Dropping down now towards Macclesfield. End of a glorious day on the bike. Hard headwind. Any wind that has been in my face. up and down for like the last 80k, unrelenting. It's been hard with the packs on, but anyway, I'm looking forward to a shower and a beer.